And your mama's in her panties running through the house right now. I tell her to take the thongs off because her hair is hanging out between her cheeks. That's how we started on time live this time. So what's up, everybody? We're going to go ahead and welcome everybody to our new live stream, Moto Amino live stream number 24. Those of you that have not started and got into our chat, because we only got like one person in chat, and that's K Squiggle.
That's right.
It. Nobody started watching yet.
Really?
Yeah, we start, and it's probably because of what you said earlier. We always start late, so they're like, "Fuck it, Derek's gonna give me another."
I'm always the first person in the chat.
But tonight, what? Hold on.
There we go. We got some people coming.
Fancy.
Hi everyone.
Right. So the deal is tonight's actual subject content's going to be about what should my first bike be. I don't think this is a controversial subject, but hell, I am the host, so I'll make sure it is. We're going to go ahead and ask ourselves each few questions. We're going to ask panel as well. Hopefully the feedback comes from our live chat to keep us going on this subject matter. What's up, Donna Main? Mary Poppins. Ooh, Mary Poppins, Mary Poppins, Mary Poppins. I have no idea who Mary Poppins is, but you just got a big shout out now because I could not let that pass. Is in the house. Tilted Vibes is it up. Before I get started with introducing everybody, Mac Daddy won't be here tonight because he's actually out and about with a good friend of theirs celebrating another year of birth.
Oh, cool.
Who crawled under a rock. That's called a birthday. But he did say something. He did say something that I wanted to actually say before we started in reference to, I posted, which I probably should have done this a long time ago and started a trend with this before we got going. But I posted an actual poll in reference to the subject matter we're talking about tonight for people to choose. And that's the part I'm going to use as my controversial piece. I'm going to be naturally a black dickhead, and I'm going to use it. But your man posted, Mac Daddy posted, and he said something that I thought made some pretty good sense. And some of you are going to know this one, but I said bike, and Mac Daddy did exactly what he always does. He never fails us. He said the best damn bike out there is a 2019 Yamasaki R636 Panabusa. That shit is off the chain. The best thing. Oh, also, I almost forgot too. This new model in 2019 for the Panabusa that comes out, this bitch got twin turbo on it with supercharged transmission, a nod kit, and 400 horsepower shot.
What's the price range on that?
Yeah.
What's the price range?
Off the now he didn't tell
like 30 grand
because I've been involved in this stuff for so many years and I know what Mac Daddy likes. I think the price range starting on this one is going to be about the same price it costs for you to get a Bugatti.
That's
you guys
reasonable
got
for
a
a first
pocket
bike,
for
right?
a Bugatti. You got this. Yeah, for your first bike, 2019 model, this is it.
You'll be the first one to ever own one, at least, I mean, I don't know how many. I don't know how many are in production,
The first one to drop it, too.
Yeah.
I mean, I
bet they don't make any frame sliders for it yet.
No accessories for that bad boy. No aftermarket pieces. I just got a feeling, though, this is a unicorn. So if you can't get your hands on it now, you'll never get your hands on it later. Man. Daddy for that, man. That Panabusa is gonna be off the fucking chain. All right. So I wanted to make sure I gave him that shout out. So again, welcome, Moto Girl. Thank you, ma'am. She's always a loyal of the real bad video shenanigans that I pull out. But on top of that,
Tree tonight.
Oh, Tree's gonna pop in. You know he is. Tilted Vibes is here, so you know Tree's gonna pop in. But I know we got the Queen of Canada in the house. I'm waiting on the Princess of Canada to pop in tonight.
Mind Chaser's here.
And if
Hey.
Hey.
So Rose is here as well. So let's go ahead and start it out. as I said, our Amino live stream tonight, number 24, is what should my first bike be? So we're going to start out, as usual, introducing our actual live panel, Moto Amino live stream crew, which is today just myself and Mind Chaser.
Where's
So the
everybody
usual
at?
deal. Well, everybody has something to do. Oh, yeah, forgot to say, because she did post it, so I do have authorization to say it. Everyone get a chance from the app, go look her up, but Gear Shots actually is pregnant.
Awesome.
She is with child, so
And
you want to make sure.
Man, she didn't want to give that up herself.
You better not be the daddy. No, she did post it on the app. She did post it on the app. So why was that a delay? That was a huge delay. Yeah, Hangouts, get your shit together. That was a big delay on that one.
You don't need any sleep right now. Let's go. Why you on? She should be on here now.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, you're just pregnant. You ain't had a baby.
No, it's just the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez.
You ain't had the baby yet. Why are you gonna sit here and do all this, man? Damn.
You ain't taking no
She
maternity
is
leave
with
now.
child. She is with child, and I am actually glad for them. I just told her, in all honesty, I wanted her to do me one favor and tell her husband to not do another review with a damn banana in his mouth.
What?
You guys got to check their channel out. I'm putting it out there. This guy, when we have him on live streams, he's real quiet. When he does his reviews, he's outgoing. He's there, 100%. Husband's cool as hell. But it's freaked me to shit out when I saw a big ass banana in his mouth, man. Told her, please, Mr. Gear Shots, please, no more bananas in your mouth.
Wow.
What's up, Mr. 750? How's it going, brother, man? All right, so like I said, what should my first bike be is our content subject matter tonight, and we're going to start off first of all by introducing our Moto Amino live stream crew, which is just two of us tonight, and we still can do it. Doesn't matter if it's just one of us, we still can do it. You guys have seen it done before. So we're going to start off with Myth, the legend. Introduce yourself, Mind Chaser.
I didn't hear no fanfare.
Oh, my bad.
Yay!
I apologize.
Thank you. Everyone.
Hold on.
Okay.
Damn. I'm sorry, man.
They
The
love
paid
you, Mind
audience that I
Chaser.
paid, yeah, they really like you. I paid them an extra a little bit tonight.
All right.
Somebody better be fired by the end of the night. That's all I got to say.
Well, it's
So
yours
go
too.
ahead, brother.
Mind Chasing 814. I'm currently in Central Pennsylvania. I ride a bike of choice, which is the Kawasaki Ninja 636 30th anniversary edition. Yes, it's special to me. I actually in a long time posted a blog on the app. I finally have given her a name. Her name is Sarah. So if you're in the Central Pennsylvania area and you see Sarah out and about, give a wave, because
Tell her to go home.
Damn.
Hey, listen.
Being brutal. Take your stinky butt and go home.
I mean,
Get off that corner.
Sarah
Sorry, man.
treats me very nice, and he feels good between my legs, and I just
That's the important part right there. Damn. You hit the nail right on the head. If it doesn't feel good there, then she needs to get on down the road,
right.
Danielle got me
I felt it was only fitting that I came up with a name that just felt good right
felt
there.
boring,
So
right?
It's not like he's having to say her name over and over again while he's doing things, I mean, just one time and that's it.
Sarah.
Well, Sarah sounds good at 1100 RPM,
Yeah.
I bet.
but that's all I'm gonna say about that.
All right, and tonight we have nice guests. We have two guests that are going to be dropping in later on, and that's not a problem. I don't shut the doors and lock them. I let people come on in. But who did make it tonight, we're going to let them introduce themselves, and this is how you guys are going to do it, just like Mind Chaser did. You'll give us your name. If you have a YouTube channel, let us know that as well, what you ride, and also, if you don't mind, add in how long you've been riding. So we're going to start off with my man, Reverend Yummy Pants R6. Go right ahead, sir.
Alrighty, let's see here. I am from Orlando, Florida. Yeah, woohoo, OP baby. No,
Take it.
Let's see
All
here.
right.
I drive a 2015 R6. I finally have the R6 that I wanted, color-wise. You know, all the, exhaust and things like that. I do have a YouTube channel that I just started. I only have 2 videos up, and from the first video to the second video, I think I've improved on my quality. Yeah, but as far as me, I'm old school, so I'm still learning computers, even though I'm like 30. Almost. I'm new to all the new technology. I'm like, oh wow, a button can do this. Oh, that's amazing. But hey, I'm gonna be honest about it. So. But yeah, so I've been riding for about 7 years now. So I've started from a 250, and I've had cruisers, and I've had sport bikes. So
Good. See how this panel works out? Different variety. And now we're going to move on over to my next guest that we have, the man himself who shares the name as mine, Dragon Rider. Let's hear from you, brother.
How's it going? So I literally just started riding, but I've been looking to do it for quite a while, and I've really wanted one, and I've done a lot of research on what to do and everything, always looking out for deals, and I'm kind of a bigger guy, and I wanted to start on like maybe a 600 or something, because I don't think 250 or 300 would be enough for me. So I found my good deal was a 05 Ninja 500R. The guy wanted $1,000 for it. I got it for $550.
Nice.
oh yeah,
Wow.
The only problem with it was there was a problem with the petcock. It wasn't getting any fuel down.
I had
So I
problems with
switched that
mine all
out.
the time.
So I switched that out and ran perfect, but now I left it on and it flooded everything and some other things. And I found I need a new starter. I cleaned everything and it should be running good now, but it's pretty good. I like it. There's not a lot of power down low, but it's pretty good, I'd say. And it's not quite a 600, but it's not too little. It's just kind of that perfect medium.
Gotcha. I actually had a pet cock too. Yeah, it was named Dragon. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
What was a dragon tip? Is that what you think?
Yeah.
See, you knew exactly where I was gonna go with that. I had a pet cock too named.
Does
Dragon.
it spit fire too?
Hey, dude, back in 2000. No, I'm sorry. So
not after he got the shot.
not after they got me three of those intramuscular gluteus maximus right. So as you guys know, you see Throttle has gotten here as well, and our boy Drew has gotten here too. So I'm going to come back to you, Throttle, because you're part of the panel, and
Absolutely.
we're not as important as our guests are. So the next person we want to introduce is going to be our one and only broadcasting team personnel, and she has something to let you guys know too when she pops up. But Miss Squiggle. Let us wiggle. Go ahead, introduce yourself, man. Man, I'm telling you, Chase, if we would have had that recording from your daughter, that would have been perfect right there for her intro.
What's up, guys? I haven't been riding very long. I've been riding. I got my first bike last June, the end of June. I got a 2013 Ninja 300. It was a good deal. It looked nice. And I had been waiting 36 years to buy a bike, and I just figured it was time. So
Your bike is sexy as hell.
unfortunately, living in Pennsylvania, I only rode it for like 4 months, had to put it away. So
You guys gotta move.
I don't really have a lot of seat time, but I did teach myself how to ride it. I did take that safety course. But I mean, you're on like a cruiser, which is a totally different feel of riding.
Mm-hmm.
Getting on a street bike for the very first time, I mean, it's completely different. I was way out of my comfort zone. I had somebody ride it home for me, and then I kind of just taught myself riding around town. I'm doing pretty good. I only dropped it like 7 times. No. No, I did drop it a couple times, but I mean, but the funny thing is I did so much research on buying a bike and I was set on buying a brand new R3. And thank God I didn't, because I was like, I'm not going to drop it. You know, it's not going to happen. It happened, y'all.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I know that feeling.
So I'm glad I didn't get brand new, but I mean, my bike was brand new to me and it was pretty shiny, and now it's got some scratches, but it is what it is.
It's got some character to it now.
I do have a YouTube channel, but I haven't really started it.
Oh, okay.
There's a 28-second video I posted only because that's all I had on my phone. That was more than 17 seconds. It's just me at the dealership starting the bike before I even bought it. Walking around it, cranking the throttle.
That's actually a good video.
That's a video.
That sounds like a good video, though.
That sounds like the perfect place to start it. Yeah.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Perfect place to start a channel, man.
That's what I put up just to like as a placeholder, because I want to start doing like moto vlogging on a budget. Like I want to do like tell y'all what I'm purchasing and how it's cheaper than, you know, the top-notch stuff you can get, but still is working.
Yeah.
I want to try to start doing a little bit of that. I got a knockoff action camera. So there's not really anything there, but you can go to my channel. It's K space squiggle. You'll see a 28-second video.
You guys go ahead and thumbs up that video and leave comments.
I got 2 subscribers.
And Throttle, I want to let you know, man, as usual, you always pull in fans. Because you know how cool you and Moto Girl are, but you also got Donna Main as well shouting you out too.
Awesome.
And we finally got Tree Monkey in here. Like I told you guys, see, I know he wasn't gonna let us down. He popped in. He's here.
Tree is the bomb, guys.
All right. So now this is important to me. I'm not saying that you guys are not important, because you know you are, but when I can get some hometown representation, it makes me feel good as hell. So I got 2 hometown riders not far from where I am. One is a lot closer, near and dear to the coldest heart that I have in my chest. But you guys have Head Ninjas in charge and Drew R3 in the house, giving hands. So we're going to go ahead and start out with Drew, sir, because Drew has some stuff coming out, too, that I think you guys need to get involved in. I made sure I always try to put in the blog if you guys have a channel, if you guys have other things going on the side, too, for people to hit your link and go there. But it's just that I'm a ball cap guy, and he has something coming out that I thought was real nice. So go ahead, Drew. What you're going to do is your introduction is just going to consist of you shouting out your name, your channels that you may have as well, what you're riding, about how long you've been riding.
Cool, man. Well, you know, a lot of you guys know me as Drew R3 on the Moto Amino app, but, you know, Drew is my name. So been riding since August of 2016. Never ridden before. I bought a brand new 2016 R3 and I dropped it the same week I bought it. So I know that feeling about dropping a brand new.
See what I mean? Oh.
So it's got some memories on there from my very first time riding, but it's been enjoyable. I do have a YouTube channel and my social media, drewr3.net. You guys probably know I'm all about branding and making things easy to remember. So I just got rid of the whole YouTube link and just created a website domain for it. So drewr3.net takes you to my YouTube channel. If you put .com, it just takes you to my website. And if I can, just touch on a little bit about the clothing apparel, the motorcycle lifestyle brand that I'm starting up is called Ride Addicts. And it's pretty much just, you know, a lot of people that show their passion in different ways. You know, I kind of want to wear my passion on me, but it's also, you know, a way to tolerate motorcyclists like us. You know, some of us just drive for the cruise, some of us want to do wheelies, some of us want to, you know, dirt riding, but it's just, you know, a way of tolerating everybody in the same community. So that's kind of what I wanted to put together. So it's been working so far. I'm getting a lot of support from a lot of people, a lot of different states, even overseas. So it's pretty interesting.
Good to hear. I'm gonna keep checking in, man. So when that ball cap comes out, I'm gonna be the first one to get it.
Yeah, man. I have some of them coming in, so they're ready. They're getting ready soon, man.
I want some. I want some.
No, ain't no want. You gotta buy.
I'm
You
all
always-
about free advertising.
You always trying to get something for free. I'm buying too. It ain't a perk of being a host that I get free shit. I have to buy it. I bought my screen thing from Street Gremlin as well from the app too, which nobody I've seen so far, and you guys will see as soon as we get a chance to meet again here. Nobody I've seen so far has it, but the funny thing is when they see mine, it's the American flag. And when they see it, I hate to say it, but they do it. When I take my helmet off, they look at me funny, like, "Damn, it's a black dude under there." like
Nice.
black people can't be patriots.
Hell no, man. Come on, man.
Look.
Angry with this country. Damn it, 40 years and a mule. That shit ain't working.
Now, look, just to put it, at least you get that. You know, I'm Hispanic, but I get the automatic. Oh, that I'd probably get. Oh, look at the Mexican over there.
Well, I'm just gonna put it out there, brother. When I saw you, I thought you were white, so it don't matter.
Nah, man.
Wow.
No, man. I'm Hispanic, man.
Yeah, I don't get along with Americans, so that's the whole problem. I'm Muslim.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm Islamic.
Touchy subject.
I'm a black Islamic. So, all right, we're gonna move on. I'm sorry. I told you guys I always do this shit. I always stir up something. But I got, like I said earlier, I got another representative from our state as well too, and actually he is our state ambassador, which we're gonna try to get some things going for us a little bit more in our state too for meetups. But I think, like I said, the panel that we have is a pretty good balanced panel of opinions, statements that'll help us with this particular question or topic. So you're going to go ahead and unmute your mic, man, and you're going to introduce yourself and tell them your story. Head Ninjas, let us HNIC. Say, man, you got to unmute. There you go. You got it. Yeah.
Cool. How's it going, guys and girls? I do apologize. I'm a little short on time right now, so I got to keep this kind of short. But let's see. Just like Drew, I started August of 2016 on a 2014 Ninja 300. It was kind of a spur of the moment thing. Like I've been searching for like a motorcycle probably for like a month prior. And then like I just saw it on Craigslist and I met up with the guy. I happened to be in the same city as him, and I met up with the guy, and it really just kind of happened. From there on in, it's just a whole nother story. Like I've been riding now for about 8 months, and I already upgraded to a Gixxer 600 about the beginning of this month. So I had that Ninja 300 for about 6 months, and I put 7,000 miles on it.
Wow.
And within that time, I've been riding. I use it for my daily driver, pretty much going to work and stuff. And I've learned a lot since I've had it, and I'm really glad I started on 300 just so I can understand like how the bike works and stuff, because I had no prior knowledge of riding a motorcycle or using a manual or anything. So it was a huge learning experience for me. So I'm glad I started there. But now that I'm on a 600, I probably will never sit on another 300 again in my life. But definitely worth it for the experience and learning if you're new to motorcycles. But like Dragon, she said, I am the Georgia ambassador for Moto Amino, and I'm kind of all over the place with everything. I have a lot going on with work and stuff. So like when I do meetups, it's kind of random, and I'm trying to stop doing that, and I'm trying to actually post it and like try and let everybody know like, hey, we're meeting up. I'm working on trying to get a more central area for everybody to actually meet at, because I know there's people all over the state that wants to meet with us, and I think we're gonna settle on the Varsity in downtown Atlanta. That might be like the best central area for everybody, but I want to post it and see what everyone really says about it in the chat. But yeah, I think I hit everything.
You hit a lot. But
I didn't hear
make
what
sure we keep
repeat everything.
No, he's got no time.
Can you repeat that all over again?
So
I got an ear
make sure you Make sure you go ahead and post as much as you can. We get a chance to in our chat, and make sure we're all communicating and know where we're going to try to meet up. Hopefully we can have one. Drew and I were talking about it earlier with a couple other guys too. We're going to try to have one in a couple of weeks at a nice little spot that's in Atlanta too. Meet, but at least we can all get together and hang out, because I'm trying to get Slinky to hang out with us too. He's down here on my side of town.
Yeah, you guys can
so
actually,
let's go ahead.
You can get a group ride from Atlanta up to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so I can go ahead and bring back that 636.
Word.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if I wasn't broke and Mr. IRS didn't come and seize my shit, then yeah, I'll come get it right now. Anywho, so we're going to get started on the subject matter, and I need everybody in the chat to help us with this one too, because as you can see, we got diversity of new riders, what types of bikes they started on. But I think if you actually listen, you heard what they started on is what they actually liked, what they wanted, what they wanted to get into. We all have been asked by somebody, or we have been that person asking that question, hey, I want to start riding. What's the first bike I should get, or what's the best bike I should get as a new rider? And I've heard that several times since we've been doing live streams too, and seen it in the chat. It's an answer for it, but doesn't mean that every answer we give is the right answer to a new rider. So I wanted to make sure I took 5 different styles of motorcycles in around the same class of CC, or as close as possible, except for that scooter, to go ahead and say could be options for people. So motorcycle, and you have a reason of why you want to get it. In all honesty, just my opinion, starting it out there, you don't need to ask us. I think you should just go ahead and do what you feel is best for you. But if you ask and you want advice from us, you got plenty of people in the live chat, plenty of people right here on the live stream that's going to tell you our very own opinion on which you should do, what you should do, and what's best for you. So I'm going to ask, I think out of all of us on here, I'm going to venture out to say I'm the oldest. Veteran rider is going to be Throttle. So first, Throttle, tell me this. What's the first bike you started riding?
His big wheel.
No, don't be a smart ass too either, man. Just, you know what I'm talking about when I say bike. I mean motorcycle.
Hey, whoa, I had one with Big Bird on it, okay? So come on, you know, dang.
I'm pretty sure the first bike, I mean, it's been a long time. The first bike I ever rode was probably this little, it was like a little 50cc trail bike. I think it was made by Yamaha back in the day. I mean, you're looking, again, I'm old, so you're looking at like 82, 83.
How about this one then? I'll think
back when the trail bikes had the big fat ass tires on them.
Yeah, big knobs on them bad boys. How about this? Do you remember the first bike you purchased? Whether it was you bought it outright, you remember that first bike?
The first bike that I ever actually owned under my name was that 2000 Honda Magna that just got ran over last year. That was the first one I ever actually owned myself. I've been riding for a long, but I had friends that had bikes when I was growing up. I was a poor bastard. I couldn't afford to pay for anything really, but I had friends that had bikes, so I rode. I think the first street bike I ever rode was a little Honda 250, little Honda Rebel 250 back in the day. I've ridden, been on Harleys, and my first my first sports bike, I was a 16, and it was a Ninja 1000.
Whoa.
And that was stupid. Good Lord, that was stupid.
Your parents let you get it 1,000 at 16?
Well, it was actually one of my sister's boyfriends, and he knew I rode bikes. I rode dirt bikes, and I rode trail bikes and 3-wheelers and all that kind of stuff. But I'd never been on a sports bike, and he was like, "You want to take for a ride?" And I was like, "Well, I'm 16-year-old. Hell yeah!" You know, that was the first time. That was the first time I ever got above 120. So yeah.
What made you choose to get that, Matt? Because I think that's interesting now that you say that. What made you choose to get the 1000 when all the other bikes you got, different styles, different brand, but they were all around the same CC? What made you decide to get 1000 though?
Who, me?
Yeah, you. What made you get that 1000?
The one I have now?
Yeah.
Throttle, keep up.
Again, yeah. I'm running slow, man.
I mean, seriously, Throttle was like, what?
I don't know.
Got him. Got him.
But I've always had, once I started building up, getting on bikes and stuff like that. Again, my name is Throttle Deviant for a reason. I've always liked speed. That's the reason I never bought a Harley Davidson.
Wow.
I'm just saying, I mean, I had a 750 cc Honda Magna, and that thing would do 155, and it was 12 years old. I've always loved going fast. So when it came to time for me to get my own a sports bike, when my Magna got ran over, I was looking around for prices and stuff like that, but also a lot of the people I ride with are they run Hayabusas and stuff like that, and it's gonna be hard enough to keep up with one of them on a smaller CC bike. And I suppose if I lived somewhere like in Colorado or somewhere where they actually had curves, I might have actually dropped down to a 600, because I don't care what anyone says, a 600 you can throw them suckers around curves a lot easier than you can a 1000 and up.
Yeah, I think so.
And but I live in freaking Nebraska of all places, so I have videos of it. You go straight. The only curves around here are corners. I mean, that's it.
Hey, I feel you on that. I live in Florida. Everything is straight. I mean, we have like one hill that's the highest point in Florida, and that's it. The rest of it's straight and muck.
So Reverend, what was your first bike you got?
Mine was an 09 Ninja 250, and I actually bought mine brand new. Never rode a motorcycle, dirt bike, nothing to that point. And my buddy actually was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go get my motorcycle license. You ought to, go get a motorcycle." I'm like, and I'll tell you, I was scared to death of them at first, because all the stories you hear and all the idiot people that do ride that, aren't safe and things, you're like, oh, and trust me, that was an argument with my mom, even at 20. You have no idea. So I basically showed up to the house with it and said, "Hey, I got a helmet, so I'm safe." There it is. But yeah, it was a 09. I put 17,000 miles on that bike. So I rode that bike, and I cannot knock that bike. The only thing I had to do to it was I ran over something, had to put a tire on it, and just done the brakes and the oil changes to it. That's all I did. And I traded that in and got me a 07 R6. I got that one used, and that bike, I put another, I think, 15, almost 20,000 miles on that bike. So I've, as far as that, I've been from 250 to 600. And then I obviously got my R6 now, but I also got a Harley 1200 Sportster. But as far as that, the Harley, it's torquey, that's what you get with the Harley. You get a lot of torque, a lot of vibration. Holy crap, a lot of vibration with that bike. But it's good, because there are sometimes I don't want to get on my R6 and sit there and go on a long ride, because after trust me, I've rode my R6 for 300 miles in a day. And I can tell you, after about 120 miles, I'm like, nope, I just, wherever I'm at, that's just where I want to stay for a couple hours. Because your wrists being in a position, especially crouched over with the R6, man. But with the Harley, man, you just sit back, no problems. Your butt don't hurt, your hips don't hurt. You just sit back and you ride with that. So that's what's awesome about that. But I've been all the way up to about 150 on my R6, and again, it's straight. So it's just straight line. There's no curves around here. If you can find a curve around here, you're doing good. That's just really what it comes down to. But as far as that, no, I can't complain. I dropped my 250 one time, but I had it about 2 years to that point, and I actually had somebody on the back, and I told them, I said, if you have to shift, let me know, and I will make sure that I have both feet on the ground and steady. They didn't do that, and the bike just kind of laid over at a dead stop. you know. So that was it. But thank God it wasn't brand new at that point. I already had it for 2 years, so that was a good thing.
Good thing you weren't rolling.
Oh Lord, I was just like, man, and thank God I didn't tear up anything on it, because the blinkers on them things, they kind of like snap, like where they just like snap away. So I was able to pop the blinker right back on it, no problem. I was like, hell yeah, you know, didn't crack any fairings or anything, just roughly scratched them up just a little bit. So I was like, hell yeah, you know. But I can't, you know, I can't complain. I cannot knock a 250. I mean, after the experience, my wife actually, now I ended up getting her a 2012 Ninja 250, and she never rode a bike before. And she went to the class like I did. I learned how to ride from the class. For us, it's 2 days. You have to spend a total of 2 days in the class. Learned how to ride and never looked back from there. You know, so same thing with her. I got a 250 sitting out in the garage right now, and she learned how to ride, but I could never go back to a 250. She's asked me, hey, can you go put gas in my bike? I'm like, really? Do I have to go that slow? But, you know, it's just one of them things.
So you Dragon Rider, you just stated that earlier that you just started riding. So the whole thing too that I started this blog out with is people always ask questions prior to getting their first bike. Before you chose the bike that you purchased, your 05, or did you just choose it because this is something you want to do, period?
Well, I wanted something bigger. I didn't want, I'm like 6 foot, 300 some odd pounds. I didn't want a 250 or 300 or 300 or whatever. I wanted something that's going to pull me a little more. So I guess it kind of depends on, and also kind of like your confidence level. Like if you're kind of fidgety and you're like, I don't know, this is too much, you know, or if you're confident and you know you're responsible and you can handle it, and you know you're not going to be like a hooligan and just go squinting down the road. If you're confident, then go to your limit. Like I guarantee, I think I could hop on a 600 and be totally fine. I don't know about a 1000, but 600 will be enough.
And I agree with you what you said. Mind Chase and I say it all the time. Really, all of us on this panel say it all the time. Ride your ride.
Yeah, exactly.
Use to get is your choice, but ride your ride. Even when you're alone, and mainly, basically, please, definitely when you're in a group setting, ride your ride.
Hell yeah.
Don't try to do everybody else's ride. So regardless of what you hear us say tonight, we want you to choose something that you're comfortable with. But the purpose of the whole chat, to be honest, is that well, you guys are going to see the purpose of it. You're going to actually see, because I always got something hidden. There's an Easter egg somewhere. Now, Drew, you chose yours, man, and you started riding on that bike prior to, like a lot of people ask you now that you're riding. Hey, I want to start riding. You know, that 15-year-old pimple face kid comes up to you.
I have a lot of older people actually asking me now, people my age, you know, I'm 28. So I have some friend of mine who've never ridden a bike either. And kind of like on my last vlog, I'm not sure if you guys had the opportunity to watch it at one point, but you know, my really close friend, my best friend died 3 years ago on a motorcycle, and we were actually supposed to get a motorcycle together. He had a Gixxer 600. So I was going to get a Gixxer 600 as well, but you know, that didn't work out, you know, and ever since then, it kind of put a pause on wanting to get a bike. So even then you have those questions like, oh, you know, how am I going to handle a clutch? You know, is it hard? You know, I've driven 5-speed cars pretty much my entire life. So that was still a concern for me because it's different on a bike, right? Physically, it's different, but the science behind it is exactly the same thing. But when I was looking at getting a bike, those were some of the questions, you know, how am I going to balance the bike out? You know, how do I change gears? How do I churn? But then it got worse after my friend's incident happened. And then having 3 kids and a wife and convincing them to say, okay, you can get a bike. That was a challenge in itself. And kind of like the salesman said when I bought my car, it's better to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission. So I went with that. And thankfully today I'm still alive and she hasn't cut my head off. But now those were the questions. And, you know, it was like, you know, what can I handle, you know, a heavier bike, having never sat on a bike except for when it's just standing there, you know, and only having experienced the 600 my friend sat on. I was still a little intimidated at that point because, again, I never rolled it, I never drove it. So to me was, okay, am I going to be able to bounce this bike as I'm driving? You know, a lot of people don't realize that the speed is going to help you balance that, right? So I've learned that now in my 300, but I don't regret it at all because I've had instances where, you know, I didn't hit the clutch properly, or, you know, I've accelerated a little bit too hard on a curve, and what probably could be a bad case scenario in a 600 or higher, I've been able to get away with it with no problem.
Yeah,
and
they're forgiving.
Yeah,
the
very
lower
forgiving.
CCs.
Very forgiving. And also, you know, the R3 that I have doesn't have an ABS or a slipper clutch, so I'm learning how to really ride a bike, right? You know, how to really downshift, you know, making sure I'm paying attention and braking. So a lot of those questions you ask is like, okay, what are the features on the bikes? What features can I use? Am I going to be able to handle it on curves? Things like that. You know, you ask a lot of those questions because you don't know. And it's funny because my first bike was actually a 50cc Chinese scooter that's still sitting in my garage right now. Because that's how I weeded my wife into giving me permission to buy this bike, right? I spent $600 on a 50cc scooter, got on two wheels, and slowly said, you know what? A motorcycle doesn't sound too bad, does it?
So don't forget though, if she's not gonna ride it, that pimple faced kid I was talking about earlier, you can sell it to them.
That's exactly what I'm getting ready to do, because it's just sitting here collecting dust and pollen right now.
So Kay, when you started riding as well too, you chose a 300 because I noticed I did this blog, man, and I did the poll and I wasn't surprised. Actually, I wasn't too surprised at the numbers that I received from it.
Yeah,
but you guys that actually have 300s, like Head Ninja started on a 300, and I got a backstory for him that he wasn't able to tell you guys because he's actually working. That's why he had to go. But I'm gonna blast him out there in a little bit, so he already knows. I may have to pay for it later. I don't even care. I don't even care. But I did this Yamaha S-Max scooter. I did a Suzuki DRZ 400S, not the SM model. Me and another user were discussing that part. A Honda CB500, Kawasaki Ninja 300, and a Harley Davidson Sportster 883. So I put those up as, you know, if you chose the first bike, which one of these first bikes would you choose? And actually, I did have one person choose the scooter.
What?
One person chose the scooter, seriously. And I don't think that's a bad thing, because just like
I mean, it's whatever you need, you know what I mean?
yeah, just like Drew just said, you know, you start on something, and it could have been money, it could have been I'm just getting out here, it could have been anything. But I was not too surprised to see out of 152 votes so far, 42% chose the Kawasaki Ninja 300 over the Honda CB and the Suzuki.
I mean, they're good bikes.
Yeah.
I thought I chose some good bikes. I thought I chose diverse bikes, but around the same CC. But I noticed a lot of people are going towards the sport bike style 300s.
Well, you know what?
So what was your reason for going?
My wife tried to put me on some old bike that was cheap just because it was cheap. My thing wasn't about those old style bikes like the Ninjas back in the day that, you know, they weren't sporty looking. That's not what I wanted. I wanted a bike to look like a bike. So
Gotcha.
the Ninja 300, you know, if you're not familiar with bikes, just as a passerby, you're not going to know it's a small CC. Which, you know, I don't really care if people know I'm on a 300. That's not why I ride bikes. I went with the 300 one because my wife picked it out. She's like, I found this bike, and you know you need permission. And I've been waiting 36 years, and I've been begging for a bike for, you know, the past year or two, and I kept getting no. And then I got my license, and within a month, I'm like hardcore pressing her. I want a bike. I want a bike. She was like, okay, how about this one? I found it. It's local. I was like, okay, I don't care at this point. I wanted an R3, but at this point, if she was willing to let me, I was willing to go take a look at it. So I went down to the dealership. I mean, I was there like 4 or 5 days. This guy probably knew me like I was his best friend. I'm like, don't sell my bike. That's my bike. I went with a 300, honestly, because I had no bike experience. The only thing, like I said, my first time even being on a bike and controlling it myself was my safety course. And like I said, those are cruisers. And to be honest with you, I felt real safe on it. Like I was whipping that thing around like it was, I had been riding for years. Again, going from that to a street bike, it's a lot different. Mm-hmm. And you feel a lot different. So I think the main thing is confidence. If you can't touch the ground, you're not as confident as being able to control the bike. So, I mean, the Ninjas were known for the seat height's not that high. I'm not a small person. I'm like 5'6", so I touch the ground pretty well. I'm not completely flat-footed, but I felt comfortable on it. I sat on it. I felt fine while I was sitting on it. For me, I think it has to do with not only your ability to ride, but your ability to know that you will control yourself. Throttle wise, like I didn't want to go out and kill myself. And I felt like if I started on a higher CC bike, not having the experience, that I might get myself into some trouble. And like I said, on the 300, yeah, it's forgiving. It's pretty easy to ride, but I have fallen down. I have broken my ankle. I've chipped a bone. And I wasn't even really riding. I was in my friend's driveway and it was full of rocks and I was just turning to turn around and leave. And my bike, the back wheel went out on me and I just fell down to the ground and I don't know how, but I fractured my ankle, but I rode home on it.
Jeez.
So it's, for me, I think it's just, I went with a 300 because I have a family that I support, and without me, I don't know where they'd be. And I just didn't want to get myself into some trouble and be that person who bought a bike and went out and killed themselves.
Gotcha.
You have to be able to control yourself. And I don't think I would have had the control to start on a higher CC bike because I would have been like, yeah, let's get this thing up to 100.
Yeah, trust me, I'm a speed demon in a car, so I knew better when I was looking at getting bikes. Someone in the chat mentioned, you can't keep up in a ride on the freeway, and that's probably true. But I don't ride with people who are not gonna understand that I'm gonna ride my ride, right? You can speed up as long as I know where we're going. I'll see you there.
I haven't done a group ride yet. I have a friend who rides a 600 CBR who I'd hoped to get out with this spring. She was pregnant last year when I bought my bike. So I haven't been out with anybody else, but I can tell you this. I will not try to keep up with her because I know my limitations. I know what I can do and what I can't do. And every day I go out, I'll try to push myself a little bit more, but I know what I can do on the bike and I know what I can't.
You definitely don't want to push the bike beyond its limit,
Well, I don't know how to react. I don't know how it feels going into a turn at a certain speed. So I only do what I can do.
And to add to Kay and to Drew, I do agree with that. As far as a group riding, the good thing is everybody around me had 600s, but they never pushed me to like speed. And everybody around me, they actually kind of I would say protected me more than anything. They're like, here, I'll ride on the outside, you ride on the inside.
Yeah.
They didn't race anywhere. And also the guy at the dealership when I bought the bike, he said, oh, you'll be back in here in 6 months to trade this bike in to get a bigger bike. He's like, this isn't going to work. And I'm like, I said, no, man. I said, I'm looking to learn. I said, I don't want to get on a bike that I'm going to kill myself on. I said, I want to get on this bike. I want to learn how to ride. This is what this is meant for me to do, is learn how to ride. I don't want to get on something that I've never been on a bike at that point. I've never ever even been on a dirt bike, and I wanted to get on something. Again, I agree with the comfortability of when you get on that bike. Again, you can flat foot it. You're not crunched down. You're actually sitting up on the 300, which I really like. And that's the one thing about the 250 I had, or the 300s. You sit up on them. You don't crouch down. So you're
alert and you know what you're doing.
Exactly. You're not worried about, okay, if I torque this throttle too much, is it going to pick up? Is it going to kick out? Again, Well, then when I moved up to the 600, I already know, okay. And again, I was a little shaky getting on the 600, but I was already confident enough. I'm like, I can do this. But again, I already had 17,000 miles of riding a bike to that point.
And you know what? Don't get me wrong. The 300s can get up and move.
Mhm.
Oh,
I've had my bike up to 90.
Oh yeah.
You were taking it
and
higher than 90.
I think I was only in 4th gear.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what 5th gear does for me. I haven't really strung it out that far, but I mean, for people who are beginning, who are like, I want that power, you can get that power later when you learn your bike and you know where, the power bands are. If you actually use your bike to its full potential, it does more than you think it does.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
And there's always
who are like
downshifting.
300 suck. They don't go fast. When do I in my car ever need to go more than 90?
You know what?
Like I can go to like Atlantic City on the freeway and still only do like 80.
Yeah. I done a lot of interstate riding too with my 250. Again, it's not something that you're going to get out there and blow past cars, but you can keep up.
Yeah.
You know, I can tell you, I ran that 250 as far as it can go close to redlining, and I was able to do like 108 on it. I mean, honestly, do you really need to go any faster than that?
No,
I
you
mean,
really
again, that's the whole thing. That's why I had the option when I got the 600. I looked right over. I could have got a 1,000, no problem. There was no questions about it, But I'm like, why am I going to get a 1,000? Now, I'm not knocking anybody who has a 1,000. Again, if you want a 1,000, that's your choice. That's cool. I mean, I can handle a 1,000. I feel I don't feel like there's any limitations there. I just felt like, why am I gonna buy a bike that I'll never see all of it? I'll never see all that potential.
Who uses 1,000 to a full potential?
I mean,
when you're just commuting around town, you know.
At least I want to keep my license. That's the way I look at it. At least I want to keep my license.
My goal is to get a ticket on my bike.
Yeah, exactly. or kill myself because I'm trying to get away from the cops, because if they do catch me, I'm going to lose my license. So, and my bike's going to be impounded, or I'm going to,
I'm still paying tickets off from the last encounter I had.
Yep. No, I can't afford tickets. I have a commercial license, so I cannot afford tickets on top of that. Yeah. So trust me, it is, and trust me, it is so hard. I mean, my bike with an R6, it's pretty much stock besides the exhaust. I can crank that throttle and lift that front wheel up in 1st gear, no problem. There's no doubt about it. But the thing is, I can get anywhere as fast as I need to on the 600, and even the 300. Again, I cannot knock them bikes. But again, like everybody's saying here, it's what feels comfortable for you. I actually went to the dealership even before I bought my 250. I sat down on every one of the bikes, and believe it or not, I didn't like the Yamahas at first. I hated them because when I sat down on the bike, it felt like it pushed my legs further apart, and it was very uncomfortable. Yeah. But after I got used to riding and everything like that, I actually went back and sat on R6, and I liked it. I'm like, oh, wow, because I got familiar with riding before I just jumped on an R6. And again, that's important too, is when you sit down on a bike, how comfortable it feels, and then you feel, like you said, Kay and Drew, you feel more confident on it. You know.
One thing we didn't even mention too is as new riders, there's when I was doing my research, one of the things that stood out too is a lot of people think they want to get into motorcycling, buy a motorcycle, spend the money for it, spend the money on the gear, which is not cheap, as you guys know. And at the end of the day, they say, you know what? I actually don't like being on 2 wheels. And they've made that investment. They financed their bikes or spent cash on their bikes on a new R6 or whatever it is they bought, and now that money's down the drain. You may be able to recoup some of it, but a lot of people don't realize that as they buy a bike, which was one of the reasons why I got a 50cc, to be honest with you, at the same time as I was doing my sales pitch to the wife. I was also trying to see, do I really want to be driving on 2 wheels? And not being able to take the bike over 30 miles, that scooter over 30 miles per hour was, I was kind of just like, you know what? I do like it. I just hate how slow it goes.
But that's where the safety course comes into play. Like I did my safety course to get my license, and right there, I hadn't bought my bike yet. The only gear I had was my helmet and my jacket, because I purchased this stuff before I even had my bike, y'all. I knew it was coming. My wife was like, "Why do you have a helmet? You don't even own a bike."
I was supposed to do the course first, and I did, and I was just, I'm very impatient. Like when I want something, I want it right then and there. And
that's
bought my bike.
I got my license, and I can tell you from just taking that course, when they let us open up the throttle and do like that round circle where you're just like going around, oh my God, the feeling I got, I knew right then and there I was going to be into it.
That was funny that you say that also, because I had already bought my bike before I even bought my gear. I bought my bike. I loaded it in the back of my truck. I went, if anybody knows where Cocoa is, like it's like almost an hour and a half away from Florida. I went all the way an hour and a half away after work to buy the bike, loaded it up in the back of the truck, took it over to my friend's, parked it in his garage. Then I went home, and like 2-3 days later, I went and bought a helmet and towed it in. My mom's like, why do you have a helmet? You don't even own a motorcycle. I said, oh, I'm just going to go take the class, see what it's like, blah, blah, blah. I never even known if I was even going to like it. I didn't even know. I didn't know if I was going to like it or not. And I can tell you, I agree with you on that too, Kay. I went to the class, and we sat in the class, done some schoolwork first as far as, on the bikes. Went out there, and no more than I got on it, and they taught me the throttle, and clutch,
crawling across the parking lot.
And we actually got at speed. I'm like, I'm gonna like this, and I knowed it right then.
I actually started on a Grom, and I hated it because I kept stalling it. The peg position on those is really aggressive, and I would have liked it more if I wouldn't have kept stalling. But once they put me on, I think they put me on a Kawasaki Informer. Oh man, I loved it.
That's all we had was cruisers, that they took the mirrors and the turn signals off of it. And that's what I learned on. So when I went to my sport bike, I'm like, when I struggled a little bit with the cruisers, but when I got on my sport bike, it was just like, it was natural, like boom, everything just felt right.
It wasn't natural for me, man. It took me like a week or two to not feel like I was gonna die.
And training classes, aren't the training classes equipped with the 250s?
Yeah, they're cruisers.
Yeah, they are.
But they're I think they use like the little Rebels and stuff, the Honda Rebels.
Yeah.
Mine had thrown in a new Grom. I don't know why they had one, but
they had a scooter at ours.
A brand new one, and they threw it in there for some reason. And I was like, I have really tiny hands. If you look at my hands, you would think I was like 5 years old. So that was like a big concern for me was, am I even going to be able to grip these controls?
Oh, you got baby hands.
I got baby hands. So I was like, I'm going to get the Grom because it's little.
Oh yeah, no, that's the thing. At the safety course I went, they actually had like an old, like, I swear that thing looked like an '89 scooter. I really do. It was that old. I'm like, and they're like, does anybody want to take the scooter out?
No.
And nobody went, no.
I'll never get on my bike at home, my pedal bike.
Exactly. They're like, can I bring my bicycle out here and pedal? Can I learn on my little mountain bike?
No disrespect to people who have scooters. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
But for me, because I've driven like 5 speeds and 6 speeds, getting on that scooter, which is all automatic, was kind of boring, to be honest with you. I mean, yeah, I'm getting used to turning on 2 wheels because at least you get that concept. But it was boring because you're just sitting there and you're just like, okay. I want clutch. I want clutch movement, hand movement.
You're like, I want to drop a gear when I want to. I want to pick up a gear when I want.
Exactly. And I've picked up the downshift.
Well, actually, what I did
on the scooter is going to be that one thing that's going to be just bothersome.
Yeah, looking around.
That's the only fucking sounds you hear.
They're like, oh, a fly just passed me.
But I see that there are a lot of people that have started out on scooters and actually they ride them on the road. There's a motor vlogger.
Uncle Cruiser did.
Yep, he did too. There's a motor vlogger in Florida, and she started on an actual scooter, and she motor vlogged on her scooter as well too. And she has a cruiser that she rides, and it's pretty nice. But I think the thing is that when you see that person coming down the street, what makes me laugh the hardest when I see somebody on a scooter is that they're actually tucking.
Well, the funny thing is
that technique works, though. That technique works. I've tried it.
Hey, you know what? You're running 36 instead of 35, man. And if I go downhill, I think I can get 38.
Don't tuck up the hill. Don't tuck up the hill because it don't work there.
They are making scooters a lot slicker now because I got psyched out a couple times thinking I had a motorcycle coming towards me. And the front looked nice, and it was a scooter. And I'm like, wow.
Hey, I always wave at the 250, or I wave at the scooters when they go by. Because to me,
with 2 wheels.
You're on 2 wheels. You're taking a chance whether you're riding 35 mile an hour or whether you're riding 150 mile an hour. You're taking a chance. Now the funny thing is when they're riding in the actual bike lane, to do anything. That's what's funny.
Yeah, it's funny because it looks like anytime you wave at a scooter, they look back just to be like, "Oh, did he wave at me?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hang on.
So I did notice this too. We all did talk about it, which is, I think, is a great thing for any new person venturing in on riding motorcycles. A lot of you guys have experienced going to the courses themselves, and you got something from it. Like I said earlier, Head Ninjas in Charge was talking about riding, and found a guy that would come to the track where we live, and he'd hold his classes there. So he's full class, and he has his own bikes that he brings, and it were 50 Rebels and 2 300s. He had a Ninja 300 and a Honda CBR 300. But wanted to ride pretty bad. Signed up for the class. Class was 3 days. After the class, and you guys heard him in his intro. After this class, shut up, Bixby.
What?
So after his class, the thing was, yeah, sorry. That's I work for
Bixby?
Samsung. That's the Bixby is the new artificial intelligence on our S8. But anyways, back to us.
Damn. Look who's got some connection.
So-
Look at that.
They're spying on you.
Who is that?
We got a memes.
Greg, it went away. It went away, Greg. It went away. Moment when you almost give the wave to a scooter, that's not cool, man. You're supposed to wave at scooter riders, man. That is not cool at all.
I'm like, not at first. They don't deserve that. No, I actually had a guy pull up to me on a scooter. I'm like, oh, and he's like, oh, nice bike, you know, and all that. I'm like, yeah. So we take off from the light, and he smokes me right off the line. I'm like, 250, okay? I was like, what the hell is that? That's not a scooter right there. That is not a scooter.
You done
like, he
mod
must
that
have changed it
scooter
out
up.
for- yeah, he must have a 600 engine in that sucker right there. I'm like, damn. And then I pulled up to him, and he just smiled. I'm like, you son of a... And this dude was like 65, okay? That's
Yeah,
what even made it even
Pops
more
knew
funny.
what he was doing. Pops knew what he was doing. He had you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he set
So
me up.
I want to ask you, Dragon Rider, what do you think, man? Before someone buys a bike, do you think the best advice you should give them is to take that course first before even spending the money and dropping that $1 on an actual motorcycle, period?
To be honest, I haven't actually taken the course yet. I don't even have my permit.
You're right.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
riding dirty.
That's
I know
why
how
his
to,
feet
well, I
covered.
don't ride out on the streets. I just ride around my neighborhood just to be safe. But
Nobody use real names in here.
No real names here, please.
Kind of need that money
That's why
to
you
go
hide
do
his
stuff.
face.
So.
I'm s-
Yeah,
But,
it's
um,
250 here in Florida. It costs $250 for that course.
Oh, it's
And it
free
is a little
PA.
pricey, and then you got to pay another like $30 to get it put on your license because they have to, you know, replace your license. So it
Yeah.
does kind of suck. I mean, the one thing we do have here is I don't have to carry insurance. I do, but you don't here, and that is the one. I guess if you feel confident enough in your writing and stuff that you don't have to worry about that. But I think everybody should if you can afford the insurance, because trust me, what they want to charge me for my R6, I could own 3 cars at full coverage insurance for my R6. So
Mine's
Yeah, I
35 bucks a
wouldn't-
month.
I just found out that my insurance would be like 50 something a month,
oh, that's good. Yeah.
and it'll be a
Mine's
lot cheaper once I
35.
take the course.
Yeah.
But
Now,
actually,
that's I
what I
think
did-
you're supposed to check into it as well too, Dragon. When you get it, you may get a discount on your
do.
insurance when you get
You
the
do.
You do.
certificate.
They ask
You
you
do.
if you're
Yeah,
taking the
usually do.
course.
Yep.
yeah.
What I did though was, my friend used to buy a bunch of bicycles, and he'd buy these engines for them and put it on for like $100. It's got the whole kit and everything. And I put one on mine. You know, you don't need a license or anything for that. It's just a
Lawnmower?
bicycle with a motor. And so I went cruising around everywhere with that thing. It was fun. But
And
it had a clutch and everything, so I got used to like throttle and clutch and whatnot. You know, no gears, but
Now, no,
But I got you know,
in
feeling.
certain states, as long as it's under a certain CC, you don't have to actually have a
Yeah.
license at all to
I
ride
think
anywhere.
under
on the street.
50, I think. Or
Yeah, under
Well, also,
50.
they're only supposed to go up to like 20 something miles an hour, but they don't like stamp the CC on the engine.
Yeah.
So it's actually like, I think it was like 66 or something.
Mhm.
I was going like 45 on that little thing. It was fun.
Now, I think the course is actually good for either new or experienced riders.
Refresh.
especially if you get a good instructor as well too. But $100 I think is not a bad price for it. I know here in Georgia, you take the actual the course itself, and your certification is not just the certificate. I'm going to just shout them out and say it, but our local Harley Davidson shop, when they do it, they not only give you a certification and everything for you to just go to your DMV and get your license. You pay nothing. You just take that certification in with you, the certificate with you. But they also give you $100 to $125 gift card.
Towards gear, right?
Yeah, that you can get for your gear either at the Harley shop, but they started doing Visa gift cards so you could buy your gear anywhere else.
They do that in PA too.
So, I mean, you know,
That's
I think
nice.
that it's a great idea for anybody to go and take the course, whether you're new, whether you're not. To that idea settled down, because when, like I said, when Head Ninjas went and did his, he finished on a Wednesday. No lie. He had his bike probably by that Friday. And
I had
like
mine
he
a month
told you
later.
guys, he never rode before. He never rode anything before. He never even had a manual transmission in the car either. So to go, his fever was pretty big. He had bad fever to a point that, no lie, he called me and said, "Hey, can you meet me in Alpharetta? I'm gonna get a bike." Now, Alpharetta from my side of town is over a fucking hour away, man. I might as well be going out of the state. But
Dedicated friend right there.
That's
a nice guy. I went up with him, checked the bike out. Well, actually, I told him some stuff before I left. Told him to shoot a video and send it to me. Let me see it of the bike while it's running, the whole nine, and do a walk around. But you know, I gave him some information, what to ask, what to look for, the whole nine. Because, like I said, it was his first bike. But we go up. He had a great deal on it and got a great deal on the bike. But I ended up having to ride it back down to his place because he wasn't going to get on the interstate and ride it down on the interstate. So here it is now, not a year later. I mean, he got it in the middle of summer last year. It's not even a year later. He got a 600 and he upgraded there. He and his girlfriend ride together. He rides with a lot of guys and girls up on the north side as well, too. I mean, the fever was in him. He moved from it. He did it, but it in horror when he was done with his class. And I think that that's something that can help people make a better decision on what they want, instead of just randomly asking, "Hey, what's the best bike for me to start out on?" Because the truth is, I agree with all of you. The best bike for you to start out on, if it's your first motorcycle, seriously, is something that you're feeling comfortable on. Because if you have a bad comfort level on your motorcycle, you're going to have a bad experience on that bike. Period.
Anytime somebody asks me what's the first bike that you start out with, I always say a Vespa.
Yeah.
Powder blue,
Yes.
sky blue, and a matching helmet with stars on it.
Yeah.
But you know, if it's always, I think, you know, the advice I've given anybody when I was asked is go to several different shops.
You got to sit
on bikes and see how it feels between your legs and the comfort level there. And then once you start to decide what type of bike you're thinking you're going to get into, I think you should go ahead and take it to the next level. Throw that $250, $300 and go to a class and take the course. And you will definitely come out of that course. I believe you'll definitely come out of that course with a definite decision on what you want, if you're going to spend it on new or used. And that's what brings me to my next one.
Never mind.
First, your first experience, your first ride. You guys have been riding for a little bit now. I'm a noob. I come up to you and I say, "Hey, I want to get my first bike. Should I buy new or used?"
Used.
Brand new.
I mean, that's tough
If you're
for me because I bought mine's brand new and so far nothing's happened. I mean, I scratched it up a little bit, but it's just a decal. You know what I mean? You can get that fixed, but it could have been worse, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Some shit don't buff out.
yeah. I would probably lean towards the fact of used now that I've experienced it, and not because of a bad experience I have, but it's because of that same fact that you might buy a bike that you feel comfortable early on, but as you progress as a rider, you might figure out you don't like a sport bike. You might want a Harley or Cruiser or you know, a sport bike that's a Honda versus the Yamaha you bought, right? So, you know, buying that first bike is really kind of like a small taste of life on twos, you know. So I would definitely recommend your first bike should be a used bike.
Well,
or
see,
like
this
my
is-
instance,
yeah.
if you have a good if you have a good mechanic, buy something like really cheap, like something maybe a little fixing.
Fix her up, yeah.
Yeah, fix it up, and something that maybe isn't good looking. Like honestly, I like my bike just because it's a bike, but it's ugly as hell. But I don't care. I mean, if I drop it, if I mess up, I don't care. I mean,
And I think that's important because
Yeah.
you're more likely to drop your first bike. So
Tilted
cosmetic
visors just said
stuff
that.
and
exactly.
and that's what I'm saying. I agree with him totally. You're more likely to drop that first bike. So spending so much money on it or not having a mechanic special, I think you should go with a used mechanic special just to get you ready and used to and comfortable when you get ready to get going good.
Yeah, because one of my first.
No, me. I agree with that you should buy a used one because when I first got on my first bike, I completely obliterated the bike going a whole 5 miles an hour.
Correction. My first.
And I didn't feel as bad as what I did when my husband went and put a little scratch on my brand new bike. So it definitely made a difference in how I felt about the bike in general.
Yeah, when I dropped my bike and it was brand new, like it was only a week old, right? I just had learned to drive it. The minute they dropped my bike off, because Mountain Motorsports over here, they delivered it to me because they knew I didn't know how to ride. I got on it. I was able to get first gear. He's like, you get first gear, you're good to go. And I was like, okay. Got first gear, started going, told my wife, hey, let's go to the park. I'll ride the bike. Man, I turned on some gravel and it was over. And ever since then, because I bought a new bike, in my mind is like, oh, please don't scratch it. Please don't drop. Don't break the fairings.
Well, this is the way I would look at that. And again, this is not me trying. It's hard for me because I did buy a new bike. I'm kind of like Drew with that. Yeah. But I got such a good deal on a brand new bike. I only paid $4,000 for that brand new bike.
Oh my God, mine's used and I paid more than that.
You know what? Yeah. If you can get a good deal on a new bike, I would say go for it.
Might as well, because this is this is the way I look at it. The normal range of a price of a decent bike that you even pick up on Craigslist or wherever you may purchase, you're looking at about $25 to $3. I looked at $1,000 more. I get a brand new bike. I know that is mechanically sound. I know that if anything goes wrong with it within that year, that's not my fault. It's going to be fixed because I actually had a friend to buy a bike on Craigslist, and he didn't even get it home before it started having mechanical issues, because you don't know what somebody else may do to the bike or what it's been through. So it's something to look at, that when you do purchase it, if you do have somebody that's mechanically inclined to go with you, that would be something helpful, because they can look and make sure the clutch is not burnt out, or other little things that you may not notice. So, if you can get a good deal on a used one, you can get a good deal on a used one, get a good deal. It's just whatever is the best deal. But I mean, also look at the mileage too. If it only has like 1,000 miles on it, most likely that bike has not been rode that much. I mean, that's just what it is. But if the bike's got like 17,000 miles on it, it might be something that you might look into and go, well, they do have a lot of miles on there. There might be something, maybe not right with it, because it would suck to start riding it and you get up to 5th gear in it and you're not know what you're looking for, and the transmission slipping on it. Yeah. Then you're out. Then you got to spend another $1,000 to replace the transmission, or $500, or find one. And then if you're not mechanically inclined, then you got to get somebody to put it in. And by then you could already bought a new bike without no problems.
Yeah. Well, the reason I bought my bike new, to touch on that, is because my personal circle of friends don't ride motorcycles. I am the only one in my group of friends that ride motorcycles, and I have a buddy of mine who might get one on Monday, hopefully.
Well, those aren't friends.
Right, I know, right? So I didn't have, and mind you, again, going back to this, is this was my situation. I always tell people I'm going to give you advice based on what I lived, right? I was technically cheating on my wife trying to buy a bike. So I was keeping it on the DL. I was going to different motorcycle shops.
Does she have a name?
We're not going to say names right now. This motorcycle buying experience was my side piece, just to tell y'all that, And it was like, I didn't know anything about motorcycles. I know about cars, but I wasn't thinking at that time it might be the same. And I didn't want to run into a situation, because my mindset at the time was, I'll buy a used bike and something breaks off, or a bolt falls off and I'm going to die. That was my mindset. Right. So I'm like, I want to buy a brand new bike. Nothing's wrong with it. It's brand new. Nobody's ever ridden it. I'm the first owner. That's why I'm buying new. That's why I ended up doing it.
No, but I understand how people have that
too,
fear. I understand how people have that fear that, you know, because the plastics cost more than the 250 actually cost buying it new.
Yeah.
So when you do crack a whole side fairing or anything like that, you're looking at half the cost of the bike. Trust me, my brother-in-law he went and got the course. He rode a 250 for almost 2 years, went and got an brand new R6, laid it down within 3 months of owning it. And I just 2 weeks ago, I had to actually put the whole right side back on it where he laid it down. Had to fix some casings and stuff because he didn't even have frame sliders on it. I'm like, man, because he's still making the payment on the bike, and the bike is not even a year old.
Oh.
And he done like if he had to actually pay a mechanic to do the work, it probably would have cost him in the thousands of dollars. You're talking almost a year worth of payments on the bike, or a half a year worth of payments on the bike.
You know, no matter how long you've ridden, if you're going to jump from one CC to a different CC, even if you have riding experience, I don't have experience moving up to another CC. Y'all know I want a Daytona Triumph 675. And if I sit on one and I'm disappointed that it don't feel good, I'm going to cry. But I feel like if you're going to jump up to a new CC, you need to learn that bike. You need to not get on it arrogant like you can ride it like you've been riding it. It's like a brand new bike. You need to learn it.
Well, that's the thing. When I also went to my R6 too, you know, you can say that I was kind of a little bit of a hoe because I would have ended up with any bike, you know. So there was no like, oh, well, I'm loyal to Kawasaki, or I'm loyal to Honda, or I'm loyal to Yamaha. I'm like, you know, whatever the price is right, and if you feel good, baby, that's who we're going with. You know, that's just how I looked at it, and I got a good deal on it. So I mean, I couldn't beat it. But I mean, when I traded in the Kawasaki, I'm like, you've been good to me, baby, but you know, I think we need to see other people. You know, that's the way it was.
I gotta let you go.
I'm glad Sarah's in the garage because she don't need to be hearing this.
No. And again, I have nothing against Kawasaki, but you know, some Yamas, you know, they're tight. You know,
You heard him. You guys hear him. He's straight gonna cheat on his bike. He's gonna cheat. As soon as the next sexiest one come up, he cheating on that.
I don't know.
I'm all over it.
I got my girl looking good now, so that'll be hard. But you know, maybe if another Kawasaki comes up, I'll be like,
Well, I'll tell you this: you got to check out that. Me and Mine Chase were talking about it earlier. You got to check out that 2017. Just a new Ninja 300. She looks like a cross between the H2 and a 636.
Oh, the H2. Oh.
And this bike is a really nice looking streamlined motorcycle for a 300. The style is she's gorgeous actually.
And Yamaha has kind of disappointed me how they done the R1 now. So you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
You don't call it a Sex 3 Sex for nothing.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Hey, Cowie put stuff on it that Yamaha doesn't have, you know, like the steering damper. You know, most 636, they have that, you know. The Yamaha
I don't have
R6,
that not on the 3.
Well, and that's what I don't understand.
I guess you don't need it. I don't know.
No, well, it's kind of more for like
in.
speed wobbles. Yeah, it's built in on the Kawasaki, the 636, and that's something that I'm surprised that the R6s do not have, especially the money you spend when you start spending in the price range that you spend when you buy a 600. You know, especially new. I think it's almost mandatory to have something like that on it.
You know, I had done a post about something earlier this year. Well, it was last year actually when I was riding, because I've seen a lot of YouTube videos where all these vloggers, they take their hands off their steering column, and they're just like they got no hands on it, but their bike stays straight. So I'm going real slow, and I'm thinking, I wonder if I can even do that on my bike.
Not slow.
I don't think I could do it at all. Period. Like, I'm afraid.
You can do it. You can do it.
Well, what speed?
I just tried it today, so I know I can do it.
Do you have to be doing like 30 or more or what?
It's whenever your comfort level, because again, I couldn't for the first year. I was scared to do it. Like I'm like, oh my God, I just took one hand off of it. But now, like again, I've had 7 years with the riding. I mean, over the last, I say 3 years, I've been able to take both my hands on the wheel. But you can't be going slow when you're doing. You have to actually be, I would say, at least at a minimum above 30, because when you take your hand off the steering wheel, you're going to drop the speed. So I would even recommend that if you do it, which I don't recommend it in a
the
way.
Ninja 300 has huge engine
I feel
braking.
like we need to put a disclaimer
goes
on
down to
this
0.
topic.
Yeah.
Let's put a disclaimer. Please do not remove your hands from your handlebars.
We are not responsible for you removing your hands.
I am not responsible if you wreck, because yes.
Now I've done it to adjust my helmet or
That's what I mean. Like, not to be a hooligan, but
no.
I
just
didn't
helmet,
feel.
but it's not something that I've seen to be an issue on mine. And Mercy Ann is a 2002 R6, and I've never had any issue with her giving me any type of steering issues when I take my hands off of her.
Tight steering.
So that's what I was wondering. If
she's,
maybe it's something wrong with my
real
bike,
tight.
but maybe I wasn't going fast enough. I don't know.
Well, you know, it does have to do. If we tap into it just briefly, I will say it does have to do with actual speed, because let me show the nerd side of me. It's actually gravity, momentum. All of this is going to equal a balance, and that's all it is. So if you are going slower with that weight, the momentum and gravity, you're going to lose the balance, and you bike can throw the bike off balance. It's not that you're actually going to have your front wheels start turning left or right. Now you have that happen at a low speed. I'm going to be honest with you. You either got tweaked forks or you got a twisted frame.
Well, I did drop her a couple times, so that's what I was wondering.
Dragon.
You got to, if you got a good, if you're cruising at a moderate speed, such as like we said, the number 30, you shouldn't have that wobble in that. But if you do, it's gonna. I'm gonna add a third thing that could be the problem: a bad road that you're on.
Yeah.
Weak forks or twisted frame.
And one more thing:
because
tires.
I check my pressure.
So that is true.
Yeah, and
it's not like we said. We're not encouraging you to take your hands.
Don't do this, people.
And be like,
do not try this at home.
Look, Mom,
don't do that shit.
Don't do the chase on 2 wheels and ride for 30 miles.
Or do it with Dan when he cranks the AK. No, don't do that. No.
So I want to make sure too. I said something earlier, and I had a guy known as Blankets help me out with this one. He gave me a little heads up that it actually have gears. So I want to make sure I go back and cover myself and track myself that they're not all automatic. So you got Vespas and Lambrettas that have 4 gears. They're 4-speed.
But that's over $600 in price range. So remember, a lot of people buy those Chinese scooters that are like $600, like I did, and you get stuck with an automatic scooter that goes like 20 miles per hour, man. And then it's not reliable. Like, it doesn't turn on sometimes. Sometimes you got to kick jump it to start, man. It's crazy.
But then the thing too, narrowing down to, like I said, is always an Easter egg in what I do on these live streams. We all said what we've said, and a lot of the things that we've said we agree with. But at the same time, I learned something that someone told me a while back that makes a lot of sense. There's a difference between listening and hearing. So when I come up to you as a new rider and I ask you for your opinion on what is the best bike, it may be the best answer is
Vespa.
Not an answer. It should be questions.
Whatever you feel comfortable on.
Yeah. I mean, I think we should lead with asking that person questions. You know, have you ever ridden before?
Yeah.
What made you decide that you want to ride? Did you said you rode before? Were you on the back, or did you ever ride one like in the backyard, in the field, or on a dirt track, something like that? You know, ask the questions, fill them out, and then possibly the next step is say, well, the best thing for you is going to be what you feel comfortable for. But I think a lot of us, when we get that question, it's an honor for somebody to walk up to you, seriously, whether they're that pimple-faced kid or that 60-year-old guy who has always had this bucket list that they wanted to ride, and they ask you this question. It makes you feel empowered. So how about being a little responsible with that empowerment and not saying like, I'm going to call somebody out on this one. Johnny Cocktail said to me when I did the poll, he said, LR on there on the list. And that's the best one to get. And I should have said KLR. So
What is a
but
KLR?
that's his opinion. It's the same. It's a K. It's hold on, I'm sorry. My son came in here and danced a little dance and then took off running.
Is he squiggling?
You okay? Go to yours, man. Go, hurry up.
Listen, man, we're in the middle of a live stream. Let's go.
Hey, man.
Hey,
My
this
family
Pierre was
comes-
on here.
my
She was
family
like,
comes
no
first.
time.
Yeah, there's no,
Yeah,
there's no like this is not pre-audio. This is live. This is live TV. This is what happens in real life right
Yeah,
here.
it is. It's
Don't
real
let
life.
10 o'clock
And
there.
I'll shut this shit down for my kids, man. Look, brother, come on, say hello, and then you can bug out. Say hello.
What's up?
Now, bug out. Get the hell out of my face. Go to your bathroom. Go to your toilet. Go to your potty. Go. Bye.
He has his own toilet.
Hey,
Parenting.
yeah, man. That's that
is funny.
parenting thing. It's called potty training.
Mhm.
Except it's rougher for my kids. Remember, I'm military. Get your ass on that pot now. Don't get up until you're done. I need to see a gallon in that.
I fell asleep on one time. You're gonna sit on it till you go to the bathroom.
See, that was mine. So he told me a KLR is actually the same style, cross between a dirt bike, street bike. You know what I'm saying? Those,
Like an Enduro?
yeah, and they're pretty when you sit on them, like the BMW's version too. When you sit on them, they sit pretty high, and some of them don't give you a good clearance when your suspension lowers on them too. But they're great bikes for all terrain, whether you do dunes, sand dunes, or you're doing literally ice, snow, rock, trees, forest stuff like that.
Only Johnny.
It's like a thong up your ass, though.
But and Johnny lives in Canada and he
Well,
actually
then he
rides in
probably
the
needs
Yukon.
that.
He rides over in the Yukon, so it works out. But a lot of times when we give advice to people about what bikes we think they should start, we give them the advice based on what we like.
Yeah,
and we don't ask them questions. So that's what I'm saying.
There'd be too many people like Cycle Cruiser who be riding down the street and then go up the curb and I'm in somebody's backyard.
Well, something else that you need to also know is you got to know the bike you're riding too, because they also shifting is different for certain bikes too. Not every bike's the same on the shifting, because you got to depend on what type of rider rides the bike. What do they call that? GP shifting. It's completely opposite of what it is. So if somebody says, hey, you want to ride my bike, ask questions. Make sure you know what you're riding, because it would suck to get on a bike and not know what you're doing and think that it shifts this way and it doesn't shift that way. So ask questions too. That's important, so.
Yeah, but you should never want to let somebody else ride your bike before.
Hell no. I don't allow nobody on my shit. The only one that got to ride it is the only one that's ever rode my bike is my wife, and she took it around the block, and I said, if you scratch it, you owe me one tonight, baby. You owe me one tonight. And I said, we're gonna go down and get it. She's like, I'll buy you a brand new one if I do it. I said, with all the little extras. She's like, don't worry about it. I'm like, okay, as long as you're gonna pay for it, mama.
If my wife said that to me, I'd be like, please go ride my bike.
I don't know. I don't let people borrow my cars or my bikes, man. There's 3 things I don't share in life. That's my wife, my bike, and my cars.
Right.
No, you ain't riding my bike. Nope.
Nah,
I've had so many people go, hey, do you mind if I nope. I don't know you. Don't care to know you. I don't care if I've known you and you've been my childhood friend for the rest. Nope. I don't think so.
Nope.
Why do people want the responsibility of being on somebody else's
You
bike
ain't
when
lying.
something could go wrong?
Yeah. You ain't lying.
Yeah, you're right. I don't want that responsibility.
They're not cheap.
I know my friend is going to be like, you want to ride my 600? And I still don't know what my answer would be, because I honestly don't want to be the person who crashes somebody else's bike.
Well, I just had a friend, he was that type where he didn't care. He's like, I'll just buy another one, So he offered to let me ride his. Yeah. Some of us may have that luxury, that where I'll just go buy another one, but I don't have that luxury. Sorry. It's not that easy for me. So that's why I will not offer it up. But he was like, hey, and I was like, no, man, I don't want to tear it up. He's like, don't worry about it. If it drops, oh, well, I'll just go get another one. I'm like, oh, okay. But that was the only time. That's the only other person's bike I've ever rode besides my wife's, obviously. Hey, can you go get gas for me? But
I don't think there's any insurance company that's going to cover somebody that rides your bike especially
crashes it.
Nope.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Nope.
You on your own on that one.
Yeah. Well, see, it was used. It was older. It was like a 94. This is an 09, 09 or 010. I had only been riding about a year, I think, at that point, or 6 months. And he's like, it was a 600 F4i. And he's like, oh, you can take it. I said, dude, I don't want to break it. He's like, dude, it's an old bike. I can buy another one for like $2 or $3 grand. I'm not worried about it. I'm like, as long as you're not worried about it. I said, so I'm not liable. Can I sign somewhere saying I'm not liable? Because you ain't going to say, hey, you got to pay for this.
So we all know that getting our first bike was our adventure. Now we're out here on the road, and then you got the new guys and girls that want to start riding as well, and we try to give them advice. But like we all agree to, it's probably best that we ask them questions before going, because you got, like I said, two types of wannabe riders. One, the group that has an idea of what they want to ride on and what they want to get into, and the other ones who have not a fucking clue. And they just ask you because they think it's okay to just jump out and get it. Like, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm 45 years old, and if I had never rolled, you know what? I already told you, Chaser, I am your father, so don't talk that shit back, man. I'll put you on punishment.
I thought I had my mic muted. I'm sorry.
I'm 45 years old, and I know how to rollerblade, but I wouldn't try to start rollerblading at 45 if I wasn't really prepared and ready to rollerblade. You know what I mean? So this is something totally different. You're getting on two wheels that are actually going to give you the ability to go fast. And on top of that, it weighs anywhere from 400 to 600 pounds of straight danger. So I hate for that person to come up to me who has no idea about motorcycles. They just want to get one because they think it's cool. I hate that is because I hate how I make them feel when they walk away. Because the truth is that I said to them, you shouldn't ask me because I don't think I want your ass on the fucking road. You don't have no idea of what you want to ride, but you want to go because mommy and daddy will give you the money, and you're going to go spend $8 grand on a brand new bike that you don't know how to ride. And then next thing you know, you're going to be plastered on the news because you were plastered in the back of your trailer or you hurt somebody.
There's another thing. You know, I have 4 brothers, and I'm the oldest out of all of them. But my 22-year-old brother, he's like, oh, I want to get a motorcycle. Honestly, I don't want him to get a motorcycle because he is just not, and I'm not trying to say that he'll never be that way, but right now, he is not even responsible enough for a 250 because he's that type of person. When you're riding a motorcycle, you need to be defensive. You know, you don't need to be riding offensively. You know, you need to be prepared for things. You know, it's not saying that you can't enjoy the ride, but it's saying that you need to be prepared. You know what could happen, you know, and he just rides like he's in space, la 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 la, you know, and it doesn't work that way, you know, and it's just what it is, you know. And I'm like, dude, you know, go take the class first. Don't even worry about buying a bike. Just go take the class first. I want to see if you can even pass the course first, and then we'll talk after that, you know, because I mean, I don't want to hurt him and say I don't trust you on the road. But I mean, I get what you're saying. You know, it is hard because there's certain people you meet and they're like, I don't even want you driving a car, let alone a motorcycle.
Right, exactly.
That's true. I got a friend of mine who's buying, like I mentioned earlier, he's buying a bike, his first bike, never ridden a bike before, and he's stuck on a CBR 600. So he's actually looking at it on Monday, and he kept coming to me, hey, you know, how do you change gears? You know, what about? He asked me the other day. He said, "What about the bumps on the road? Does it mess you up?" And I was like, "Yeah, you hit a pothole. You hit a pothole. You're gonna fly off that bike." Yeah. But you know, and he's a police officer, and he gets the riding course down here for free. And I'm like, dude, before you even buy the bike, go take the course.
Yeah,
it's free for you anyway.
Yeah, it's free for you anyway. You utilize that ability of free, man.
I mean, how do you buy a bike and then be like, I don't know how to shift. I don't know how to. No.
How about I go up to him and I say, hey, you're a cop. How do you shoot your gun? Do you mind if I play with it now and shoot it? Can I try it? Can I do it right here? I mean, you come to me and you ask me that question. Can I ride your bike to see how to shift it? No, you can't ride my shit, man.
Why don't you have him ask him if you can use a taser? Taser be way more fun than the gun would. You know.
Yeah, I don't think he would agree to that because he got tasered when he became a police officer.
All right, so we're gonna bring it to a close, but before we go out, I wanna it is not too much of a novel, but Tree Monkey got a good little statement that he had in reference to what we were doing as well for questions, and I'm gonna read over it real quick, and we'll go ahead and move on from there. So the biggest question that is asked about, what I should get, what should be my first bike. So you'll find that everyone will have an opinion, but this is my recommendation. It's all about what you like and how it will fit you. Everyone is different, height, weight, build, etc. And every bike is different. 240 pounds. I wouldn't recommend the same bike as someone who is 5 foot and 120 pounds. The best thing, in my opinion, is to go to a dealer, go dealer to dealer, and take a look at what bike design you like, enduro, naked, touring, etc. Your mind may change when you sit on it. Usually every dealer will allow you to sit on every one of them. Different things to look at when you sit on a bike are foot position, in front, underneath, behind you. Will change your leg angles. It may affect your back. Arm positioning. Think about how your arms and back will feel after you spend hours in that position. Same about your legs and neck. That's just a part of the list. It doesn't even engine size. That's another topic. I rode dirt bikes and understand the fundamentals. I started with a bigger bike, 847cc with a ton of torque. And if you hadn't ridden before, I wouldn't recommend it. Start smaller and work your way up. Into play when you are riding for any period of time. The fact is that every bike you sit on will be different in its own way. If you are planning on getting a used bike, do the same thing. That way, idea what may work for you when you go and look at one yourself. So I agree with him on that. That advice that we give to make sure that this person knows what the hell they want to get, but they're going to choose what they want to choose. We all chose what we wanted to choose as our first bikes. That's why I asked you guys in the beginning, your first bike that you got, which one did you purchase, put money into, not just the first bike you rode. And you all chose something like, you got a scooter at first, and then he went up to a 300, and is very satisfied with his 300. You had Kay, she went into a bike, her first bike is the 300, and if I'm not mistaken, I don't think she wants to get rid of that thing.
Not yet.
For her. So we all have something. We all have a reason why we don't want to upgrade to a larger bike. We all have a reason why we still have the same bike that we have. Whatever the reason is, at the end of your day, it's your reason. Yes, experienced riders can give you an idea of what the best bike is to get started on, but they can't give you a best idea of what's best started. Like a salesman can't sell you the best item if they haven't, first of all, asked you questions about what your interests are, what your limits are, and what your capabilities are. So I think we all agree, if you don't go to a class, you don't have to go to a class, but you can at least plant your ass. Hey, seriously, man, fuck you. I'm not Jerry Springer. You guys are fucking assholes. You guys are straight fucking assholes. You know what? He hit me so fucking hard.
I was interested. Did you get Jerry's script or something like that? You were like, it was going on. I'm like, damn, what's up? This is the Black Jerry right here.
You know?
Only thing we needed him to do was start pointing at the camera.
Seriously, man, none of you in the live chat were going to support me and help me on this one.
Like, so well, like, don't you find them trailer park bikes? You need to turn around and go up class.
Man, you know what? This is the first time that I've had a fucking panel that's actually called me out on some shit. Guys, you know that?
I didn't even say it out loud. I just put it in the chat.
You didn't say it out loud.
I heard those keys tapping. I knew she was saying something.
We heard you saying it out loud with your fingers tapping on the keys. All right. I'm done. I'm no more soapboxing. You're not going to catch me again. Bunch of assholes. Make You know what?
Can I say something real quick, though?
Fuck you, man. You're not saying nothing. You didn't have my back.
Oh,
yeah, what's up?
I guess I can't talk about my team.
No, I got you on that one. Go ahead.
The way I learned how to ride, seriously though, is my very first experience. It was on a 4-wheeler, and that taught me how to change gears with on a manual four-wheeler, I should say. That taught me how to change gears and feel the RPMs, when to change gears and things like that. And then I learned how to go to that next step, getting on two wheels, because I already had the basics.
Rudimentary.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. I had that.
You'll never ask Mine Chaser to teach you how to ride a damn bike.
Fuck you.
He puts you on and says, "Okay, you go."
See, you deserve that.
All right,
Karma is a bitch. All right. So before we go, though, seriously, I do have to do our shout out on our application for Moto Amino, since they fund this.
Yeah,
They fund it.
sure do.
Ooh.
I'm sorry, that was a real low blow. Okay, Kay has something she's going to tell us though as well. Seriously, that's on the app, and we want you guys to look at and look into. Go ahead, ma'am.
If you guys don't know, I run the broadcasting team, and I am looking to expand my team. I'm trying to free up some time so my people don't have to be on there every day. Y'all know we're going into riding season. I want to get enough people that, maybe we only need to be on maybe one day a week where we're working, because we get those bonuses. To be honest,
that's an inside joke for us.
To be honest, since I've started working with the Moto Amino app, I feel like I've lost a little joy in enjoying the app, because I feel like when I'm on there, I'm working. So I don't want my people to feel like that. So I want to get enough people where we only need to be on there working like one day a week, because we got enough people to cover. So I am looking for people to apply. I need
What's the pay?
5 or 6. Oh. Do you want to know?
What's the incentives?
And there's also a interview as well too. We're going to interview you with 4 people interviewing you at the same time.
I need your references.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Before you go further with it, tell them seriously what you guys do though. What the broadcasting team does.
Nobody knows. The broadcasting team, if you guys have notifications turned on your phone and you're a member of Moto Amino, you will see notifications come across your phone 3 or 4 times a day. Like right before we started this, right after we started the live stream, I got one right on my phone that said the live stream was starting. That's what we do. We send out push notifications that'll get people who maybe haven't been on the app in a couple days to click on it and come back to the app and see what's going on. So we look for posts on the front page that are quality. They have good content, and we put little catchy titles on them, and then we push them. But I mean, we're constantly looking, and I only have like 3 or 4 people as of right now. A couple people kind of disappeared. Long story short, I need more people. I need like 5 or 6 people. So maybe we only need to be on there one day each day.
Yeah. So just to touch on that a little bit here, someone in the chat wanted to know who's running that for the pages on the post on the front page.
The curators.
Curators
Pick like Tree Monkey.
Don't call him out. Don't call him out like that.
Put him on blast. Put him on blast.
Tree. I hear you're a curator, Tree Monkey. What the fuck you ain't put my shit on the front page?
No, you can't ask him to do that. Only if you're special. They have to go find them.
Yeah, but I think the comment was that some of the ones that are on the front page aren't. And I'm going to try to put this politically correct, quality. Right? Yeah, but I think at the same time, I don't know what his staffing looks like with having people to help with that, but the quality is always going to be as good as the creator of the content, and if there's not enough people that are putting quality content, it's going to be a little bit challenging,
Feel like
I think we should save that for another post, another live stream.
Yeah.
We should probably leave it at that.
We need more people is what I'm saying.
We're just they need more people to help out with doing it, because right now it's so limited with people putting these notifications out, putting these on the front page. And let's be honest, you're going to get what you get when you only have 2 or 3 people doing it, and they're doing it mainly more time than they can. They don't have the time to do it. So
yeah.
But we need to know.
So if anybody that's on the app, if you want to do it, you will not get paid. This is a volunteer basis that we all do.
and it is a very time-consuming job.
That's
But
why I'm
as you
trying
can
not to
see,
make it
if
time
they're
consuming.
yep, if they're able to do it the way they want to do it with the broadcasting team, then you're only doing it one day.
Yeah.
That you'll be utilizing the app the most, putting things out there, the whole nine. Like when I
And
say
then,
there's
you
a
know,
live stream coming up, I have to send it to Kay, and Kay has to push that to the front page at the right time for you guys to see it. To have just only 3 people doing a lot of this stuff is a little difficult for them.
And if there's not any volunteers, the draft will be instituted in on this. Okay.
you will be sought out.
You will be drafted.
Yeah, you will.
And if you dodge it, you're out. Okay, you're out of the club.
And also, there's another shout out I want to give too as well. If you guys are on the app, or if you're not even on the app, go to her channel, and it's easy to find. But Brandyland, there was a question that was asked to her as well too about how to draw a motorcycle. If you guys have ever seen her, she has she's an artist in all honesty, and she has a business. Actually did my stickers for me and my wife for my decals that we did. She did those for me. The thing that I have on my helmet, the sticker on my helmet, all come from her as well too. But I mean, she's a great artist. But if it's a good thing, and if she thinks it's worth her time, because that's the thing, she's
so definitely go fill out that poll.
If you think it's a good idea, it's cool, check Brandyland, Branddiland, Brandyland with an I.
Design.
She's also on the front page.
Design, the design is my design, but she did the decals. She has that part of a business that she does, but she designed her own. Now, when you see her page or you see her on the app, her Brandyland decal or her Brandyland monogram, that's her design. She made that herself. She actually has done raps too. To go on your motorcycles as well.
I play guitar.
I think she did her own. It was pretty cool.
You said I play guitar. What?
I do.
What?
I got that one, and then I got my Jackson over there.
Woo! Well, you want to teach people how to play them? Put a post up.
Maybe I will.
That's But that's the thing. We wanted to go ahead and stuff like that. The broadcasting team pushes out as well too, and there's a poll to see if she's going to do it or not, and go from there. Again, so coming to our end, we don't never do an hour. I mean, seriously, man, our shit is fun. I really like it. Not to go against anybody else's, but I like our live streams. That crew that pops up and keeps us going. Hey, that's trademark, man. Don't be stealing other people's. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put you on the spot anyway, because at the very end of this, you got to have your own call out and your own shout out and your own going out statement.
What?
Every week, brother, everybody's going to get called out on it.
Now, there's no age limit on this. There's no age limit on this thing, right? It's going to be 18 plus, right?
Wait, hold on. My kid, let me send my kid to bed.
Is that Sarah?
All right, so no, his real child.
Oh.
So the next thing I'm going to do is give our shout outs and let everybody know we on the Motorcycle Amino as well. We have leaderboards. So one of the leaderboards I wanted to go ahead and go is, or what I always do, is the most active in the last 24 hours. Get the top 3 people.
Thank you.
And then number 1 is that Norwegian biker with 365 plus minutes. And like I say every week that she pops up on there, that girl ain't got a life. We need to get her a bike and get her a ride. She is always on this app. She is always on this app. And came in second this time though. I haven't seen their name at all. 93 cart. I'm not gonna murder that one anymore.
Cricket.
Golly, Derek. I did mess that up. I mean, I ruined that name. 93.
Okay. Most time when I'm on this stream, you put K scribble.
I ruined your name. Yeah, I put B's in your name. 93 is in second place with 255 plus minutes on the app. And Mr. 750 pops in and out all the time. 220 plus minutes as well.
Get a life.
Most active in the last 2 days, last day. But then we got quizzes, because you guys know we do quizzes. You know we do quizzes on the app, right?
We do.
Okay, yeah, I'll take that as a yes. As my boss says on the conference call when we get quiet like that. Okay, I'll take a yes on that one. Diavo 32 is in number 1 position of the motorcycle Amino quizzes with 12,526 points. Ian is in number 2 position for the quizzes at 10,321 points. And Auto Beast is in 3rd with 7,320. And I'm going to go to do what I always do. I love, in all honesty, seriously, guys, I like to say this sometimes. It's not a bad thing. I just like to go ahead and shout out the new members that pop up on the app. That we're going to go with this one. Jacob Serrato, La Puente, United States is his location. And as usual, I'm going to call you out on this one, Jacob. You ain't got no bio, man. You ain't got no pictures either, man. You ain't got no photos of no motorcycle, man. Can we get a shout out and get a bio and also get some photos of your bike, man?
Or your dream bike?
Anything. No, I mean, seriously. If you even real, Jacob, I'm sorry, bro. I'm just being honest.
It can be like a little free-wheel red bike, okay?
I mean, yeah, I don't care.
Anything, you know,
it could be that battery-operated Hot Wheels one, and that's perfectly fine.
It could be a circus bear. It could be a circus bear on a little 3-wheel bike pedaling around.
Hey. Second one plus 9120 out of New York. What? But then guess what, man? You ain't said nothing either. Actually, A+, you ain't even got a photo. So I think you fake. I think you might be a spammer. Prove me wrong, man. Prove me wrong. 3rd place, 2-wheel fanatic. Got a Grom. And it's a nice looking Grom too. Got a backdrop. Not bad at all.
Put some effort into it.
I mean, seriously, I'm just going to let you guys know. Not only did they get greeted already, they got a backdrop. They got a photo of the Grom in there. I hope it's your Grom and not something you stole off the internet. It's a Ducati. My bad. I was wrong. I just zoomed in on it. It's a Ducati. It's not bad. Okay. So anyways, I'm out.
How do you get that mixed up?
That's a really bad.
Because it was
Grom from a Ducati.
When you look at it, it's in his profile circle. When you look at it, it looks like a Grom. And then when I hit it, it was still small. And finally, I had to expand into it, and it's an actual Ducati, so it's not a Grom.
Where's your readers?
But I left him out there with my kids. Yeah, y'all didn't catch that one, did you? She just really called me out for being fucking old and said I need reading glasses.
Hey, did you happen to see the moon landing? You know.
Hey, I'm telling you, I did them film that shit. That shit was fake.
Well, thank you for the clarification. I'm glad.
And don't believe that shit. So Brian Keith 757 is our 4th one, and then 5th that we'll give out is really strange. So I'm going to let you guys know I do believe truly this is a spam. A+ 5497.
Don't you think people maybe just sign up and then just don't?
Well, the thing is the second person I called out was A+ 9120.
Oh, nice.
And they're out of New York, and you got an A+ 5497 out of New York with the same.
What's the A+? Isn't that a gas station?
So those two don't count.
Password or something.
You never know.
Well, I'm gonna call them two out and say you're fake. I'm just gonna do it that way because I ain't afraid. I'm not an internet.
Trey says they're fake.
I'm not on the internet thinking I'm gonna tell you guys you're fake, and I'm gonna post it and I'm gonna flag your account. How about that?
Do it. Do it.
That was me.
How about that?
No, that's not fake media right there. This is not fake media.
Fake
this is real.
Trump sucked my balls. I'm sorry. My bad.
That's another stream.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. He is my commander-in-chief. No disrespect. I apologize. I'm sorry.
Oh, please.
I was not supposed to say that statement, dude. Yeah. Wow. Anyway, so yeah, I'm in trouble now.
Look, you would expect that from the Mexican, right?
Because us blacks and Hispanics are just the same, is what I was told.
Yeah.
Let's get back on track.
So yeah, let's get back on track, like you said. So on our going out, on our shout out going out, this is what we always do at the end of our stream. You got to say something that's your little call tag, your call sign, whatever it is, and you're gonna tell everybody whatever you want to tell them. But just remember, whatever you say is going to be in this video and able to be seen on YouTube for as long as this video is on the internet. So you will be known for the statement you make. So we're gonna
One more
All right,
time.
Dan.
Copyright.
keep doing that
Dan.
shit. Yeah, that's a copyright and a trademark on that. I'm gonna tell him you took it. All right, so
Oh,
Mind Chaser, show
Billy.
them how you do it, man, and do that call out, man. Go ahead, do your call out.
Shut up.
Take your time.
Okay. The mic is mine. Can you hear me? Okay.
No.
Yeah,
Can,
Mike is
can you
mine.
speak up?
You got an ear infection.
Is that your outro?
Seriously, get the banana out your ear, man, and talk.
Hey. So,
You
all right. Here's my out. It goes a little something like this.
Drop a beat, someone drop a beat.
The only thing that I got for him, man, is this. That's it. Go ahead, man.
Dude, people are yawning. Come on.
Go.
For everyone down, the rest is always up. I'm out.
You guys like that one too? That gong on the internet? Y'all like that, right? Wow. Well, see, they don't have to be like special shit that you say. In all honesty, it's just yours. Like mine is a simple thing. It's the end of my videos, and it's the same, real simple like here. It's have fun, ride safe. That's it. No big deal. So you guys can come up with whatever you want to come up with. You know, I think if you got a channel, Drew, you should go ahead and do one too and keep it. You'll be known for it.
You know, I got one that I'm using for ride addicts, you know, and if you haven't followed my social media sites, make sure you guys follow it. But, you know, it's pretty much ride with passion. So ride passion. That's it, man. You know, we're out there on two wheels to enjoy our life, enjoy our time on two wheels. Some people like jumping off airplanes. We like riding on
Don't
two wheels.
explain that bullshit. You just supposed to fucking say it and we get it. God damn it, I can't do shit right.
I was hoping you drop a gong for me too. You know, I was waiting for some sound effects, man.
Oh no,
He wants you to gong him off the stage.
no, my bad. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Play the music.
I didn't want
Hit me with a gong,
like
damn
that.
it.
So I'm gonna do this. We are all gonna hear the infamous words of Drew R3, and also about his actual line of clothing that he'll have on the internet. I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. Finish up.
I already said it, man. I already said it.
So now you guys know what you're looking for. Let me hear you, Kay. What you got?
Ride
if you're
safe.
ready.
Peace. Yo, y'all just ain't listening. I already said it.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Reverend. And don't start sounding like no goddamn Reverend Dr. James Bond and James Brown and shit.
Oh,
no Jesse Jackson,
Okay.
but it's up to you, brother. Go.
All right. Keep the rubber side down. And if you're going to get silly, wrap your willy. Peace.
Oh,
Wow.
See? That was good. That was good. That's good. Wrap your willy. Go ahead. We got one. I know this was going to be
That's
the
a
top of
public
the
service
hour
announcement.
one. Yeah, it is. Dragon Rider's going to have one. Let's get it. Let's hear it.
there's no one size fits all with motorcycles.
Sure.
That's it.
Where's it gone?
I'm telling you, that shit was deep and passionate. Matter of fact, we're going to put that on T-shirt.
You better trademark it now. Hurry up. You better go get trademark and get it right.
That's good. Yes, sir. Cha-ching, hit it. That's
Hey,
good.
no. I just wrote that down. I'm going to put it on.
All right, I'm remember
Show it on camera.
So seriously, guys, I really appreciate you guys coming in. This every week that I do this is not always easy. Sometimes it's difficult, but seriously, when we do it, it's well fucking worth it. I mean, I really appreciate you guys taking your time to come, to get on board, say what you got to say, bring your opinions to the table, and give your best advice, or even shout out what you got going on the side. I think it's real cool. This is not something that is, like I said earlier, we were joking about it. It's not something we get paid to do. It's just something we all have passion in doing, just like riding. So I'm glad you guys accepted the invite, said it was okay to come. Kay, for always accepting my invites. Even when you're sick as shit, you'll still try to come. I really appreciate that. It's just makes me feel all good inside. Sometimes I just fuck y'all. Anyway, so cry and I don't love. Everybody that showed up in our live chat, I really appreciate you guys coming. Rocky Rose for saying what you say all the time, man. Rosa for trying to give out your number in Spanish and thinking that it was a real number. Anybody fell for that one? I want to know if anybody fell for it, because my number is 777-9311. That's how fucking old I am. That's from an old ass song.
867-5309.
See, there you go. Somebody else know what I'm talking about. I appreciate you guys showing up. Appreciate you guys being here, keeping involved in the live chat, keeping us on our toes, giving us information as well. Because our guy named Blankets is not from the States. He's from across the pond. I did not know that Vespas had gears in them. Seriously.
Now we know.
I don't want to ride them. Knowing's half the battle. G.I. Joe.
Yep.
So, guys, I appreciate you being here again for another one. And next week, we actually have Moto Amino live stream number 25. And guess what it's going to be about?
Me.
It's all about the
K show.
There you go.
K show. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle,
Yep.
wiggle, wiggle.
With it.
Y'all, I'm sorry. So we're gonna do our next stream next week and on gear. We're gonna do gear next week. Period.
Oh, I
So
got gear.
you guys tune in next week. Talk about that.
Shit.
We gotta have
Talk
gear
about
on.
that, and we won't keep it PG-13. We'll make sure it's rated R as best as possible as usual. Oh yeah, and
I'll be here next week.
I got a Samsung Galaxy S8 with Bixby, bitches.
She's spying on you right now.
Yeah.
Hit me up if you want to know how to use it.
That's wiretapped.
Yeah.
That's just listening to you right now.
Yeah, actually she did. She already popped up and said something. So
Oh boy.
again, guys, thanks for showing up. We appreciate you being here, and we're gonna go ahead and call it an end and close this out. So see you on the next one.